Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, everyone. It's time for round 4 of Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F3 League. As I've said, that's round number 4 out of 12, so we will hit the 1/3 mark of this incredible Season 19 Suzuka, the track that was constructed in 1962 as a part of as a test track for Honda. The F1 World Championship has been decided here 12 times, with Sebastian Vettel being the last one to clinch his Drivers' Championship on this track. Usually this was one of the final races. Right now it's only one of the 5 final races, if I am correct. Obviously, this year's calendar, if we'll see any racing, will be even more different. The first race took place in 1987, the only figure of 8 track this in the entire calendar. 27 laps of the race we will have today, which is approximately 153 kilometers. 2/3 of the track are driven with full throttle. Soft, medium and hard compound tires, obviously, but these are the hardest possible tires brought by Pirelli. The hardest possible compounds on C1, C2 and C3. We will be checking out what's going on the track in a minute, and I can just one final view. Everything is good, so you are seeing what are the drivers doing now, and I will just change the cameras here, and I've made a mistake. This is what I should have shown you, and a minute, because I'm seeing a slight technical problem. It's gone, I think. It's gone. Okay. Brilliant. So we are diving onto the track. 12 minutes of the qualifying session still to run. 20 drivers today. Again, we have a few changes to the lineup since the British Grand Prix. Unfortunately, the AM is having some internet connection issues, so he's not racing today. Also, as I've said last time out, Broby is not with us in terms of driving, obviously. He's not able to drive this season anymore, so we have 2 reserve drivers. You may remember this guy who's on pole position right now, Thrustmaster. He raced in Bahrain, but crashed out there. But we also have Bob in P19. I happen to know him by his nickname, another nickname called Marb. I don't know why he's changed their nicknames, but I think I'll have to ask him later on if it's correct for me to sometimes refer to him as Mar, because that's why I have remembered him. He is another of the reserve drivers. So as we can see, we have a new face in McLaren and in Mercedes. 16 drivers have set lap times. Flexus, Marcy, MDCO, Rainbow, Flash, Pantaleev, Bartek, Hueni, Piekarz, Jackal Jack, Sky Kartoffel, Vegas, Tudor, Leto, Black Panther, Fox, and Malkian is the last one to set the lap times. And as I can see, 15 of the drivers are within 1 second of each other. 15 of them are within 1 second of each other. Can you imagine how tight the field is? I mean, this is incredible. This is something else. And obviously Oxygen has been given a qualifying ban for today's race. Interestingly enough, he blocked one of the other drivers in Spa in qualifying session, which was, as you can imagine, 2 weeks ago. But the situation wasn't clear enough for the steward, so they couldn't award him penalty for Silverstone. That's why he is serving his qualifying ban in Suzuka. Someone is telling me that there is no rain. I hope he is right. Obviously, the tire strategies in Japan are quite similar. I think that you would only go for a soft to medium strategy. Maybe if you want to do a counter strategy to medium to soft, but basically you're doing a one-stopper here. Unless you're having a shocker of the qualifying session and you want to do something incredibly bold with your strategy. Let's see who's going to finish the laps quickly enough, because I was just talking and I have not paid too much attention to people doing their laps, and we can see that Hueni has jumped into P8, or is he? No, he's just started his lap. So does Flexus Marcy. Looks like Panther is in the pit lane. Yes, Black Panther is in the pit lane. Jackal Jack is starting his lap time. His flying lap, obviously. But Tarabukin came into the pit lane. Then we have Rainbow. We'll talk. No, it's not Rainbow. It should be Vegas. Yes, it's Vegas. Is finishing his lap already. What's his time? 128.1. That's P4. Brilliant. Look at the gap between him and Flexus Mossy. It's less than 8 hundredths of a second even. Sky Kartoffel jumps into P5 now, 1 minute 28.4, but he loses 3/10 to Vegas and Partek, the first one to go in under 1 minute 28 seconds, 1 minute 27.969. One of the Renault is finishing the laps as well, but that's Leto, who is actually starting his lap, flying lap. Piekash into P6, 128.3. Another good lap from him. Where is Pantaleev? He's finishing his flying lap, or is he coming into the pit lane? He's coming to the pit lane. Let's look at Hueni. He had good qualifying sessions in all 4 races, but he had mixed fortunes in the races, and look at his time, 128.2. Jumps into P6. Flexus Marcy comes back to the top, 127.936. Where is Jackal Jack in all of that? Because he's finishing 3/10 faster than his previous best, and that gives him P7, 128.266. Is Fire next in the queue? Yes, but he's on an outlap. Looks like MDCO then will be finishing his flying lap. He's improved by 43 thousandths of a second after 2 sectors. Will it be enough? No. Almost 1/10 of an improvement, but it's good enough only for P3 to stay in P3, to be fair. Sky Kartoffel comes into the pit lane. Looks like Leto will be finishing his lap. No, it's actually Fox who is coming into the pit lane. Also, Partek should be coming into the pit lane, and Leto, I think he was going slowly. No, he was actually going quickly. Improved by 2/10 of a second. That could give him, well, only one position. Up into P13 he goes. Where is Malkin and all of that? He only has one lap finish, and that was a slow lap. He's actually starting another one. So does Borb in P19. And I'm looking for Hueni. Hueni is actually coming into the pit lane. Tarabukin is on an outlap, so he will start another lap. And Flex is on a slow in lap. Also, Flash, he is on an outlap actually. And interestingly, he has chosen medium tires, so that's an interesting strategic choice. Jackal Jack is coming into the pits as well. So I think we will have a minute of... No, actually no, we not, because Fire is finishing another quick... Actually his first quick lap, but he has cut the chicane enormously. Interesting tactics there. But he goes into P2. But this enormous cut will be noted by the stewards. The Rainbow starts another lap, and one of the Williams driver has pulled into the pit lane. Where is Malkian? Malkian is still lost, but he has improved by 4/10 already. 4/10. How much will it get him? Well, 3/10 after two sectors, so he will jump into P16 if my maths is right. Someone's going slowly in sector 2, but there are no major issues, and Malkian is finishing his lap, but that's only good enough for P15. Bob jumps into P17, and Tarabukin. What will he do? Because it looks like Pantaleev is starting another lap, but Tarabukin is on a flying lap, obviously. 130 thousandths of an improvement. 130 thousand. That will give him P4 if my maths is right. But obviously there is still the final sector to go. You can still find some good amounts of time, and that's good enough for P4 only. But he is 600ths of a second behind Flexus Marcy. 4 drivers are covered by 600ths of a second. Incredible. Flash is on a slow lap and he's coming into the pit lane, so maybe Leto is also coming into the pit lane. Rainbow is finishing. No, he's coming into the pit lane as well. Maybe Vegas is then improving. No, he's not. But that's Fire and P2 who is also coming into the pit lane. So maybe Black Panther is on a quick lap. Yes, half a second improvement after first sector. That's, I think, a little bit too little. Interesting. Pantaleev going through Spoon, and he is the next one to finish his flying lap, but looks like he's going slowly. There's also a yellow flag in sector 2, and that was due to Borb going slowly. Jack is coming out from the pit lane, obviously. Now, with 3 minutes to go, everything will get interesting, because this is the best moment to set your lap time. Starabukin's also coming into the pit lane, so we'll go back to Black Panther because he seems to be incredibly quick. 8/10 of an improvement, that will give him even P7, but he still has sector 3 to cover. And what will be his time? 1:28.1. That's P6, but that's only 2/10 of the pole. And look at that, he can be 2/10 of the pace set by the pole sitter, and you may be 6 or 7 places behind him. Look at the train coming out of the pit lane, by the way. Looks like it's led by Sky Kartoffel. No, it's led by, I think, Leto. No, it's even led by... Yeah, it's led by Leto, because Black Panther is somewhere else. Fox is also on an outlap, but he is finishing this outlap. So he'll be the first to start his final attempt. No, he was actually in a quick lap, and he sets 15th best lap time, beating his teammate. Next one to finish a lap is Flex's Marcy, but he is starting his final attempt. Then Piekaj will start his attempt, and maybe Jack, yes indeed. So let's go for a full lap with Flex's Marcy through these incredible S's. Suzuka S is one of the most incredible sections in the entire Formula 1 calendar. 5th gear, or sometimes even down to 5th gear. Almost, well, not almost, but a lot of full throttle, and just having to tiptoe on the throttle and the brakes. Tarabukin has already retired from the session, but he's done that in, what, in turn 1. And Borb already retires from the session. I don't like that trend, because they are stopping. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Also, Black Panther is retiring, but he's done that in the pit lane. Obviously, there will be some reports on the drivers retiring on the track. But let's go back to Thrustmaster going through Spoon now onto the longest flat-out section on this track, 1.2 kilometers. But we are going through this incredible 130R corner into the K-show triangle chicane. He has a slow Renault ahead of him, but I don't think it will block him too much, and Thrustmaster is finishing his lap. A little bit of a twitch coming out from the final corner. What will be the time? 1:27.8. Then let's go for Piekasz because he's in P10 and he's coming into the pit lane. Malkin is starting another lap, so let's go back to Jackal Jack because he is finishing his lap. And what will be the second place for Jackal Jack? A good job from him. MDCL also 0.2 of an improvement. How far he will go up? Only P6, only a slight improvement. Who's next? A lot of drivers are actually retiring on the track. I don't like that trend, as I've said, but I think I will tell that later to the drivers. Pantaleev is coming in. Hueni looks like he's coming in as well. Next one to finish the lap will be Rainbow. He's going quickly, but will he go quick enough to set a great lap time? Yes, that's P7. That's good enough for P7, but that's not the best. MDCO has left the session, ladies and gentlemen. That's a little bit of a bummer. Skykartoffel goes into P12. Thrustmaster has retired. Vegas is in P9, and he stays there. Where is Tudor? He was 18th after 2 minutes of the after all the 18 minutes of qualifying session, and he stays there. Fire jumps into P2, overtakes Thrustmaster, and looks like, well, MDCO had a better lap time because he improved into first place. I missed that, and that will be all because where is Malkin? Malkin is on a quick lap, so he will be the final driver to finish his qualifying session, but he is 2/10 slower after two sectors, and he is coming into the pit lane. So that's the end of the qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. MDCO on pole, then Fire, then Thrustmaster, who is the fastest through entire 18 minutes of qualifying session, but on the final attempt he was slower than two drivers. Jackal Jack is in P4, and that's Tudor down in P18. We will get the full table later on, or right now after this black screen goes off. And look at that, MDCO on pole, then Fire, then Thrustmaster, Jackal Jack, Partek in P5, Tarabuki in Rainbow in 7th, Black Panther 8th, Vegas 9th, Pantaleev 10th. Whole top 10 covered just by less than half a second. Then Hueni, Skykartoffel, Flash, Piekasz, Fox, Leto, Malkin, Tudor and Borb. Obviously Oxygen has been giving a qualifying ban. 16 drivers covered by a second, but also 19th drivers, just 1.2 seconds of the pace. Incredibly tight field is what we have. Everyone said the fastest laps on soft tires, so obviously the top 10 will start on those, but also I imagine that a lot of drivers from the bottom half of the grid will choose the soft tires. Now it's time to say who is in the lead in the driver's standings. And interestingly enough, even though he got a penalty in Silverstone, I'm talking about Tarabuki Andrei, he still is the leader of the driver's standings. He was first in Bahrain, second in Belgium, but 7th in Silverstone. Rainbow is in P2. He won in Silverstone, was also 5th and 6th in first two races. That's why he is in that P2. Zirian in P3. Well, that's Pantaleev. If you want to know who that guy is, that's actually Pantaleev. He was 4th in Spa and 2nd in Silverstone, but was 12th in Bahrain. That's why he's losing 14 points. He's losing to Rainbow, who's further 5 points behind Tarabukin. So that's a difference. So what is this field? Looks like we don't have MDCO. We don't have a pole sitter today. Oh, that's really bad. Let's go back to the driver's standings because we have Partek in P4, but actually he has the same amount of points as Zirian, but he has one DNF. That's why he's behind the Toro Rosso driver. 5th place for Leto. He was 8th in Bahrain and 1 in Spa, but DNF'd in Silverstone. Jack in P6, then MDCO in P7, but we know that he won't score points today. Fire is 8th, he was on the podium in Silverstone. Oxygen was on podium in Bahrain, but didn't score anything later on. He is 9th, and Flash is one of the few drivers to score points in all 3 races. In fact, only 3 drivers have managed that. Tara, Bukin, Andrei, Rainbow, and Flash, but Flash is only 10th in the driver's standings. Who is the final one in the standings from the drivers we are seeing today? It's Fox in P19 with 17th, 15th place and a disqualification. Let's look at the tire graphics then. The top 10, or actually the top 9, because we don't have MDCO, will start on soft tires. Then Hueni will start on mediums, Sky Kartoffel on softs. Flash, Piekash, Fox, Leto, and Malkin will start on mediums. Tudor will start on softs. Borb and Oxygen will start on mediums as well. Let me take a sip of water because it seems like we will have an incredibly intense race at Suzuka. Okay, I'm back after taking that great sip of water. Look at the pace set by Fire. What is this Williams doing? Okay, that's Flash, who has, interestingly enough, decided to get going, because that was a really slow warm-up lap set by Fire. Someone is on the grid already. That is Malkin, I believe. Yes, that's Malkin, also starting on mediums. And now we can see that Fire will take, well, we'll take P2 on the grid, but that will be actually P1. No pole sitter in this race, no MDCO, unfortunately, due to some internet connection issues, maybe game crash, who knows. Okay, now we have 19 drivers shown correctly, so let's see the lights. 5 lights are on. And we are away at Suzuka. Fire gets a good start. Look at Jack, because he seems to have a better start than Flex's Marcy. He will be on the inside into turn 1. A little bit of a contact between them. Flex's Marcy goes wide, but Jack takes P2. Fire stays in P1. Partek is already up into P4 just behind Flex's Marcy, and he has Tarabukin just behind him as well. Yellow flag sector 2, that's Oxygen. No, that's Leto having problems, and looks like Malkin got a penalty. Leto has spun in one of the first few S's, but let's go back to the top, because Jack is just behind Fire, who is just, well, Fire is actually leading, obviously. Look at the penalty for Malkin, 5-second time penalty for cutting corners and gaining 1 position. Interesting. Let's go back to the top though. No, because Piekash has had a moment in the hairpin and he has gone down into P17. But let's go back to the top, because Jack is just behind Fire. Flex's Marcy is just behind Jack, and Partek is just behind Flex's Marcy as well. Looks like we have a huge train fighting for the top 1. Well, for the lead in this race, really. I think 5 drivers are in this train. But are there going to be any changes coming into this chicane? No, but Flex's Mossy had a look down the inside into the Casio Triangle chicane, but he couldn't make his way through. Jack lost some time due to this situation, but Partek is now going to overtake Flex's Mossy into turn 1. Is he going to go down the inside and take that position? No, Flex's Mossy around the outside had better speed there and stays in P3. Some penalties were already awarded. I couldn't see who got them, but looks like Borb and Leto have come into the pit lane. Piekash has already also... No, he has overtaken Borb, but Borb was in the pits, as we've said. Fire now in the lead, half a second ahead of Jack. He could build some slight advantage, because Jack was forced to go a little bit wide in the first part of the Casio Triangle chicane on the last lap, but that's in the past. Now he is just catching up to him again. Look at the gap now, 0.3 of a second. The DRS is still not open on this lap, but it will be open on the next lap. Where is Partek? Partek is in P4, just behind Flex's Mossy. He will also have to think about using the DRS on the next lap. Let's go back to Jackal Jack because he's just behind Fire yet again. Obviously, they are fighting for the lead in this race, and they have a good enough advantage over Flex's Mossy and his rivals in order to stay in that P2, maybe even after this straight. We are coming to the end of the second lap. Piekasz gets a 3-second time penalty already for multiple warnings. He's fighting with the Malkin. Fire sets the fastest lap of the race, but Jackal Jack is just behind him. No changes on this straight. No changes on this straight. Black Panther is actually in 7th place. 1.2 seconds behind Rainbow. He is just ahead of Vegas and Pantaleev, but also Hueni, well, actually, who's not in this train. There is actually a train from Black Panther all the way down to Oxygen. Everyone is within 1 second behind each other, and well, Piekasz is just 5 seconds behind them. Let's go back to the top because there are more interesting fights down there. Jackal Jack just half a second behind Fire. He's lost some time going through the S's, but he will regain it going through the more open part of the track, more straight. Bartek was going down the inside on Flex's Mossy as he made the move stick. I think he has, but now he will have the outside in the 200R corner. That's turn 12. A little bit of a wheel banging between them, but looks like Bartek will have the inside. No, Flex's Mossy going round the outside will take the P3. Someone as well actually as MDCO messaging me, but I can't even read it now, so I won't do it. I don't know why, but probably that's about the race. But let's go back. Tarabukin goes down the inside on Bartek now. Did he have a problem? Did he make the move stick? No, he didn't. And Bartek round the outside stays in P4. But look at Rainbow now trying to take advantage of this situation. Is he going to take P5, maybe even P4 round the outside? He tries to go into turn 1, but he doesn't make the move stick. Where is Jackal Jack? He is in P2 right now. Some way behind, well, not some way, because it's just 0.4 of a second behind. Fire. Oxygen has also lost a place to Tudor. No, he's actually just ahead of Oxygen, but he has a problem with his front wing, and he has cut a corner, and he is down in P15. Let's go back to the top now, and looked like Fox has spun into the barriers. Yes, he has, but he's still somehow in this race. The yellow flag in Sector 1, that's the Renault driver, and he's out of this race. Another bad race for Fox. Obviously, I was going to say another. I'm losing my word, obviously. But that's another bad luck in this race. Another tough race. That's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry for this sort of stoppage in this race. Flex's Mossy already 1.5 seconds behind Jackal Jack, but he is trying to fed off the guys behind him. But look at Jackal Jack, just 0.3 of a second behind Fire. Fire goes defensive. Jackal Jack sets the fastest lap of the race. Vegas comes into the pit lane. Fire went defensive once again. He was changing, I think, 2 or 3 times his line on this straight. But let's go back to Bartek because he has made a move on Flex's Mossy. He is up into P3. Another good race from the Red Bull driver. Yes, Vegas has taken hard tires, so he will probably go to the end of the race. But I think, going back to the fight between Fire and Jackal Jack. Fire, I think, has switched the line 2 times, and that's obviously, well, 2 times. 1 time to go defensive, then he went onto the racing line, then again onto the defensive line. So that should be a little bit too much, if you ask me. But that's only my problem. My liking, and my liking may be different, maybe a little bit too strict. Let's go back to Tarabukin. Look at the gap that Bartek has already built over Flex's Mossy. That's over a second. Looks like Partek is on a really quick lap right now, but let's go back to Tarabukin because he is in P5. He's lining up a move on Flex's Mossy. He's just 1/10 behind him. Is he going to try to go down the inside into the chicane, or is he going to wait for the DRS? I think he's waiting for the DRS. But Partek is just behind Jackal Jack. Another penalties are coming in now, but that's not the point now. Is Tarabukin going to make a move on Flex's Mossy? Yes, indeed. That was an easy move for him. Partek is in P3, 1.2 seconds behind Jackal Jack. That's a lot of time behind him. Yellow flag sector 2, someone going slowly, someone spun, and that was Barb. Has he spun actually? Yes, he spun out of the spoon. Piekasz and Malkian fighting for P14, and Piekasz goes into that place. Leto has overtaken Barb, but that didn't make any change here. Rainbow actually has overtaken Flex's Mossy, who tries to retake that P5 coming into Degner 2, but he's losing heaps of time right now, and Black Panther is trying to go round the outside into the hairpin. Outside is a little bit better here, I think. A little bit of a touch between them, a little bit of a lag. And somehow Flex's Mossy is still in P6, but I think he is on really worn tires right now. Looks like everyone else has made a better job in conserving the tires, and they are quicker than him. Everyone around him is quicker. Let's go back to Jackal Jack, just 0.3 of a second behind Fire. That's within a striking distance behind the Racing Point driver. Is he going to try to go down the inside into the chicane? No, Piekasz gets another 3-second time penalty. That's a lot of penalties in one race, and actually in 6 laps of the race. Fire goes defensive again, but Jackal Jack has DRS, and he will go with ease down to the inside in turn 1. We have a lead change in this race. Jackal Jack is our new leader. Pantaleev came into the pit lane, probably for medium tires, although I'm not sure. Yes, the medium tires are ready for him. Who else is going to make a move on someone else? I don't know, but there is still a lot of fighting going on right now. Flex's Mossy is certainly holding up Black Panther because he was quicker than Flex's Mossy, Black Panther obviously, and Black Panther has only a second lead over his teammate on medium tires. Hweni is the fastest driver right now, the best placed driver that has started on mediums in this race, so he may well be up for some good result today, this evening. Partek is now just 1/10 of a second behind Fire. Where has Fire lost all that pace? I don't know, but Partek is in for another overtake. 2/10 between him and the Fire. Flex's Mossy gets a 3-second time penalty. Flex's Mossy, as we all know, is now down in P6. Is Partek going to try and move down the inside into the chicane, or will he wait for the DRS? He will wait for the DRS. That will be an easier move. Will Fire get a DRS though? Is maybe Fire coming into the pit lane? No. All of the questions have a negative answer. Fire goes defensive, so Partek will have to go round the outside into turn 1, but he will not even have to use this outside line because, well, he had great overspeed over the Racing Point driver. Black Panther still not able to overtake Flex's Mossy. He's still down in 7th, and his teammate is just all over him. Malkian and Piekasz, they are still fighting. Malkian tried to go round the outside into turn 1 and into turn 2, but he makes the move stick later than I thought he will. But he goes into turn 3 as the 13th place driver in this race. So let's go back to the top because we have an interesting scrap here. Partek looks like he has even better pace than Jackal Jack. Tarabukin tried to make a move on Fire into turn 11, into the hairpin, but he couldn't. He now tried to find a gap going down the inside in turn 12, but he couldn't. And he's still behind Fire going through Spoon. Yellow flag sector through safety car! And that's Vegas out of the race. What happened there? That is sector 1. Tarabukin and Fire are exchanging places. What happened to Vegas? That is out of turn Number, I believe they're number 6, yes, the final S before the Dunlop corner, and I'm interested in how many drivers will come into the pit lane. Jackal Jack is coming, Bartek is coming, Fire is coming, Tarabukin is coming, everyone else is coming, even when he's coming into the pit lane, although he will have to use hard tires right now. This is going to be interesting. Obviously, everyone is pitting, although I think, yes, Oxygen is staying out. What tires has Hueni put on? Yes, hard tires. So, Oxygen has stayed out. Jackal Jack actually has emerged in the lead, and he will have Oxygen between him and Bartek. Then Fire, then Tarabukin in P5, Rainbow in P6, Black Panther in P7, Flex's Mossy, Sky Kartoffel in P9, Pantaleev in P10, Flash is in P11 on hard tires right now, ahead of Tudor on mediums, and Hueni on hards as well. Piekash, interestingly enough, has gone on to soft tires. He will certainly have to pit again. And Malkian is on hards. Leto is probably going to change onto hards as well. And Borb will be the final driver to come into the pit lane. No, Leto is on 1 lap old mediums. Interesting choice. And Borb has changed the tires to mediums as well. Will the mediums go all the way to the finish? I think yes. I think mediums are capable of doing that. But softs definitely are not. I think Piekash will have to come into the pit lane yet again, choose probably another set of soft tires, maybe mediums, and then finish this race. Interestingly, Piekash, I think he still doesn't have any points this season. We will certainly finish this lap after the safety car. We will have to go another lap behind it. But let's wait and see, because the safety car can still come into the pits. No, it's not going to come. It's not going to come in. So we have Jackal Jack in P1, Oxygen in P2, and Bartek in P3. Let me take another sip of water, and I'll come back in a minute. Piekash is actually pitting again. Interesting. Is he going to change onto mediums? No. Let's see what is he doing. Okay, he's on mediums. So he's actually gotten rid of softs, made 2 stops under the safety car, and now has to... Oh, interesting, but he's in P15. Will he be in P15? Yes, he will be in P15. That's a good sip of water for another 18 laps of action. Is the safety car going to come into the pits at the end of this lap? I hope it is, because I think it's one of the better races. Well, every race this season has been good, let's be honest. But this one, it was interesting. MDCO is telling that he doesn't know what happened. He was on pole but lost connection to Steam. Yes, you are unlucky, mate, but this game has had these kind of issues probably for the entire game cycle. Unfortunately, when you leave the session between qualifying and the race, you're not going to start in the race. That's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Jackal Jack waving to warm up his medium tires. They don't have to pit again in this race. Only Oxygen probably will have to pit again. Maybe Pantaleev, but I don't think he will as well. We are waiting for Bob to join the train, to join the queue. We are going to finish the 3rd sector of lap number 10 of the Japanese Grand Prix of round 4 of the season 19 of Apex Online Racing Hype Energy PCF3 League. And we are still having to go behind the safety car. Looks like Bernie Maylander is waiting for Borb to join the back of the queue. And we will, well, I hope we will go at the end of lap 11. We will have still 16 laps of green flag action, hopefully of green flag action. Malkin has come into the pit lane. What is going on there? New mediums. He was on hards, wasn't he? Yes, he was on hards. So we only have Flash and Hueni on hards. Piekasz gets a... Oh, that's a big penalty for just hitting Hueni. Obviously, that's a normal penalty for hitting another driver behind the safety car. If Piekasz doesn't come into the pit lane, he will maybe try to report the penalty to get it removed. But is it going to get removed? I don't know. Jackal Jack still waving like crazy to warm up the tires, to warm up the brakes, accelerating, braking, accelerating, braking to control the temperature of your tires, of your brakes, of everything. There is a interesting situation down there. It looks like Leto has overtaken Piekasz behind a safety car. What's going on there? I don't know, but it happened. Everyone is at the back of the queue, so looks like Jackal Jack is going to be the leader of the safety car queue after we cross the line between Sector 2 and Sector 3. The lights will come off on the safety car and Jackal Jack will be the de facto safety car. He will be dictating the pace. Yes, safety car is coming into the pits, obviously, at the end of this lap, and he is slowed down incredibly. Is he going now? He's not going yet. Obviously, you can't overtake anyone before the start-finish line. Not before the safety car line 1. That was the case until the season, the end of 2018 season. Since 2019, you can overtake until the start-finish line. Looks like Jackal Jack has made the restart, and he has a good gap over Oxygen, 9/10 ahead of him, and Bartek is now going to try to attack Oxygen into turn 1. Oxygen goes to the middle, a little bit defensive. He couldn't get overtaken by Bartek. Tarabugin has already overtaken Fire. I wonder if he's made that ahead before the start-finish line or after it, because I have no idea about it. Piekasz is out of this race. A bummer again for him, but what can you do? Flex's Mossy is behind Black Panther. He was ahead of him, remember. They were fighting for a few laps, but after the safety car phase, after the pit stops there, they have exchanged positions, and I'm curious who is going to be quicker right now. Fire tried to defend from Rainbow. Rainbow tried to go around the outside in Hairpin, and he has made the move stick. That's a brilliant move from the second driver in the driver standings this season. Looks like Fire will try to retake that position, but he can't. Oxygen is already 2 seconds behind Jackal Jack. Jackal Jack has incredible luck right now because he has a slower driver between him and his closest rivals. Malkin has been overtaken by Borb, so there is an exchange in P15, but Bartek needs to get a move on quickly on Oxygen because he needs to overtake him. Yellow flag sector 3, that's Hueni in the wall, and he's out of the race. Will we have another safety car? Maybe a virtual safety car? I don't see anything like that. Flex's Marcy has been overtaken by Sky Kartoffel. Is he going to be overtaken by Pantaleev as well? Flex's Marcy has Sky Kartoffel on the outside. Is the Alfa Romeo going to go through on the Mercedes? There is a touch between them. Then Flex's Marcy goes round. Also, Oxygen goes round. Oh, that was a weird collision between them, but Pantaleev goes up into P2. Oxygen already 3 seconds behind Jackal Jack. Obviously he's on those old mediums, but Bartek can't overtake the Alfa Romeo. Tarabukin is still just behind him. Rainbow just behind him as well. And Fire is there as well. There is a huge train fighting for that P2, for net P2 in this race even. And is Bartek going to try to get a move down the inside into the spoon curve. No way, he can't make this move again. So we are now onto the longest flat out section on this track. Maybe now, or maybe on the next lap. And Oxygen looks like he's got some elbows out. He's going really defensive. Partek will go around the outside, a little bit of a touch between them, but no problems there, and Partek goes into P2. Also, Tarabukin tries to go down the inside into the chicane. He makes the move stick almost, but not entirely. Yes, he's made the move stick. Rainbow into P4. That's a good job from him as well, and Rainbow is now trying to get the move down the inside into turn 1 on Tarabukin. He's still hanging there down the inside, but I don't think he's going to make the move stick. He will be on the outside in turn 3. They are still fighting, still going wheel to wheel, but Rainbow has to lose this fight to Tarabukin, but he will certainly try to have a go again. Oxygen down into P5 in a space of what, 3 corners maybe? But obviously that's down to his tires. He still wanted to get some elbows out. He still wanted to fight with these guys. But he had to lose. He had to wave a white flag. Where is Fire? Fire is 0.8 of a second behind Oxygen. Remember that we will have the DRS on this lap. So it will be easier to overtake drivers ahead of you. This is our race leader. And he has built over... Well, now almost 4 seconds gap over Partek, but maybe he will build it even more, although most of his gap comes from the fact that Oxygen was slowing the group behind him enormously. But look at that, he's stretched his gap to over 4 seconds now. Tarabukin 0.2 of a second behind Partek. He is really close. Is he going to make a move down the inside into turn 1? He has a huge overspeed, but is Partek going to retake that P2? No, he's not. So Tarabukin comes into P2, and Pantaleev, he has lost a position to Black Panther, only to Black Panther. Yes, I think he's lost a position only to Black Panther, so there is a change in P7 as well. Partek now 0.3 of a second behind Tarabukin, and Tudor is in the wall. He's lost his front wing. Well, not entirely, but a huge chunk of his right hand side of the front wing is gone. But thankfully there is no safety car. He lets Flex's Marcy through, but they have lost a lot of time. Also, Sky Kartoffel will not be 15th after that. He will be 14th because Tudor will surely have to come into the pit lane. A lot of bad luck for Tudor, for Flex's Marcy and Sky Kartoffel in this race. But let's go back to the top, because Rainbow is just behind Partek, 0.4 of a second behind him. Partek 0.6 of a second behind Tarabukin. Tarabukin has actually a great pace, 3.5 seconds behind Jackal Jack. He's taken some of the gap away from the Ferrari driver, but he hasn't taken, well, he's taken now what, half a second on this lap. That's good enough. That's the fastest lap of the race, set by our championship leader. He is going to maybe even take that championship this season. Who knows? He will certainly get more points again. Oxygen, he has been overtaken by Fire. Sky Kartoffel has overtaken Tudor before the Ferrari driver has managed to get to the pit lane. Partek is just behind Tarabukin. Rainbow is just behind Partek. Obviously, they will be fighting for this P2 for longer, maybe for the entire race to go. Still, there are 12 laps to go. There is still a lot of racing to go. Still a lot can happen. Still maybe some safety cars can come out. Tarabukin has taken another half a second from Jackal Jack's advantage in the first sector alone. He has now over 0.8 of an advantage over Partek and Rainbow. So maybe Partek will not have the DRS to his aid on the start-finish straight to help him defend from Rainbow. Maybe Rainbow will have to get a move on the Red Bull driver to start trying to catch the Toro Rosso driver, because they are fighting for the lead in the driver standings. Is Rainbow going to go around the outside in the chicane? No, he's too far behind. Leto has overtaken Flash for P9, but is Flash going to retake this position? No, so let's go back to Rainbow. Partek gets the DRS from Tarabukin. Rainbow gets the DRS from Partek, and they are way too far behind to make a move. Flexis Marcy is out of the race. In the 130R section, safety car is out again. Wow. Second safety car in this race. And we still have 11 laps to go. Oxygen and Sky Kartoffel are coming into the pit lane. Obviously, there is a double stack for the Alfa Romeo team. But they won't lose too much time due to this situation. They both have chosen soft tires. I actually wonder what will be the decision from the top of the field, because they have, well, they have medium tires. Obviously, they are good to finish on those, but maybe they will pit. They will choose the soft tires. Oh no, Oxygen! What happened? Well, Oxygen had a collision. No. He didn't have a collision. He just came into the pit lane. He changed the tires under the safety... Well, not under the safety car. He came into the pit lane before the safety car came out, I believe. He's 16 seconds behind Malkin. He will be 12th, but he will have quicker tires than everyone else. Or will the top of the field come into the pit lane? I obviously think that Flash will have to come in, change the tires for softs, but is he the only one with this... in this situation? Let's see what the Jackal Jack is doing. Is he coming into the pit lane? No, he's staying out. Tarabukin is staying out as well. Partek, Rainbow, Fire, Black Panther, Pantaleev comes into the pit lane. And Leto stays out. Flash and Borb are coming in as well. I can't imagine them changing tires to any different compound than softs, and yes, Pantaleev is on softs. Flash, no, Borb is on softs. Flash is on softs as well. So we have an even split, almost even split. The top 8 is on mediums right now, and the bottom 6 is on the soft tires right now. Everyone else will be close to each other. Everyone else will come closer. We will have to wait for them to join the queue for another, I don't know, 1 lap maybe. We will go at the end of lap 20. Oh, we have a lagging safety car. That's not what you're seeing every day, but I think it's gone back to normal. No, it's not going back to normal, and that is a big problem. Safety car seems to have a green light on, and everyone stopped, and we have Malkin out of the race. What is going on here? Jackal Jack, Tarabukin is out of the session as well. What is going on here? So we have 2 drivers disqualified right now. Looks like Rainbow is in P3 at the moment, in P1 even, but Black Panther disqualified, Rainbow disqualified. At this pace, we will have the whole field disqualified. And to be fair, I don't know what's going on right now. Is this some sort of... Oh. No. Okay, I am lost now. Now I'm totally lost. And I believe that everyone else is totally lost as well. Because we have the end of lap 18. The safety car has gone back to normal. Jackal Jack is in P1, then Rainbow in P2. They are not disqualified from this race. Black Panther is 3rd, then we have Fire, then we have Leto, Pantaleev in P6, Oxygen in P7, Flash in P8, Borb in P9, Partek coming into the pits in P10 on new soft tires, Sky Kartoffel in P11, and Tudor in P12. Okay, that is changing a lot, but I don't know what to say. To be fair, I don't know what to say. Maybe I had a desync that maybe not caused this situation, but has shown to all of us that a lot of the drivers are disqualified. What? 5 drivers, according to my screen, were disqualified, but they are still perfectly in this race, so obviously there was something wrong, but still, Malkian has crashed out behind the safety car. Tudor says the game crashed massively. Okay, but we still have 12 drivers in the race. Obviously now the whole... I have to tell Tudor that there is no mass disqualification right now, so excuse me for this little... yeah, that was unfortunate, but we are back to normal showing of this race. No, we are not repeating this race, I think. We still have 12 drivers. Tudor asks me to get an invite for him, but I can't. And I think we are going to restart this race now, or not. I don't think we will. So we have a weird top 2 situation right now. Well, even weird top 3, because remember that before this whole situation... Well, Tarabukin has actually been disqualified. I've seen that already. We're not going again.
Apex Online
I have to write him that I can't. I'm sorry for those... well, you haven't seen that. You haven't seen that, but it's interesting that a driver is communicating with me by the Steam message right now, not by the stream, which is a better way of communication at the moment, because I can't write, because you obviously see things that you're not happy to see right now. Obviously they are all connected with the stream now, but that's not what you want. That's not what you want to see. Now, all of a sudden, Black Panther is down in P7. And I don't know what's going on. To be fair, I don't know what's going on. Still, looks like the game servers... I don't know, because I've heard that they have hard time, obviously, with all the people now playing this game because of the quarantine. But this is not how the game should look. This is not how the race should look. You can still see that the drivers are lagging. One of the drivers has actually been disqualified from this race. So you can see that yourselves. Tarabukin disqualified. And that is the only driver to get disqualified from this race. It's not like everyone else got disqualified because the safety car had a problem. No, only this... Well, now I can see it. It's even better. Well, great. Safety car is coming into this at the end of this lap, and I really don't know what to think about this race right now. We will have 7 laps to go from now on. Jackal-Jack is leading. Rainbow is in P2. Fire is in P3. Leto somehow is in P4. Pantalev in P5 and Black Panther in P6. Jackal-Jack goes, restarts this race. Rainbow is in P2. Fire in P3. Leto in P4. Then Pantalev. Black Panther in P6. Now, Oxygen in P7. Flash in P8. Borb in P9. And Partek in P10. Tudor in P11. And Sky Kartoffel in P12. But he has come into the pit lane because he had a problem with his front wing, by the looks of things. 7 laps to go and still everything can change here. I hope that we don't get a safety car. Partek is fighting with Borb for P9, but Partek comes out on top in this fight. He is up into P9. Let's go back to the top because the Rainbow is just behind Jackal-Jack. Only 8/10 cover these two. So they are going to fight it out for the win. This is a big chance for Rainbow to take 25 points over Tarabukin to get onto the top of the leaderboard in the driver's standings at the 1/3 mark, if you can say that, 1/3 mark of the season. Remember, we only have 12 races, but we obviously have 12 races, and this is race number 4. So after the end of this race, we will be in 1/3 of the season. But there's still a lot of racing in this race, and I have a feeling that we still might get a crash or two. This is a tough track, a really, really tricky track. Rainbow says the fastest lap of the race right now. Pantaleev is just behind Leto. They are fighting for P5, and Pantaleev, is he going to try to have a move round the outside? They touch! And Leto, has he spun? No, he hasn't spun, but he has lost some time to Black Panther as well, and he has lost a position to the Haas driver, but he is ahead of Oxygen. Yes, he is ahead of Oxygen, but that was close as well. Rainbow just 0.4 of a second behind Jackal Jack. Who is going to win this race? Is it going to be Rainbow, or is it going to be Jackal Jack? We all know that it's not going to be Tarabukin, because he was disqualified apparently for a games problem, really. We all agree with that, but that's what happened here. 6 laps to go in this race, and I still don't know what's going on. Looks like I don't know what's going on, but that's usual with this game. Well, not usual, but that sometimes happens. Flash is fighting with Bartek for P8. Flash went down the inside, and well, no, it's actually Bartek who's trying to retake the P8. Okay, so he was trying to go around the outside in the spoon curve. Also, Oxygen is trying to get a move on Leto. He is on way quicker tires, and is he going to go down the inside into the chicane? No. Bartek, meanwhile, has made a move on Flash. But let's look at Rainbow. He's way too far behind Jackal Jack to make a move, but Leto is going defensive on the start-finish straight. Maybe Oxygen is going to make a move. No, Bartek came out of nowhere. Down the inside into turn 1, and he has overtaken Oxygen. I think he's not. No, he hasn't. Because, and there's a crash between them. Oxygen goes round. No, I have to change my view, because Flash, I think he must have touched him, because he now doesn't have a front wing end plate. Sky Kartoffel sets the fastest lap of the race. Pantaleev is just behind Fire, 5 laps to go in this race. And Jackal Jack goes a little bit wide, a little bit deep into the hairpin. Fire is just 2 seconds behind Rainbow, and Pantaleev is just behind Fire. Pantaleev is looking to get onto the podium as quickly as possible. He will have quicker tires than the top 2, and will try to catch them, and will try to overtake them. Where is Bartek? Bartek is 0.4 of a second behind Leto. Maybe he is going to try to overtake the Renault driver right now. Obviously, Oxygen has made a contact with Bartek going through turn 3. That's why he's down into P11. Let's go back to the top, because Jackal Jack is ahead of Rainbow, won by only half a second. Black Panther gets a 3-second time penalty. Rainbow gets the DRS behind Jackal Jack. Is he going to gain enough time to overtake him into turn 1? No, but he maybe will try to go down the inside into turn 2. No, but Pantaleev has overtaken Fire. He's up into P3. 4 laps to go in this race, and I still don't know who's going to win. We don't know who's going to win. 1.8 seconds between Pantaleev and Rainbow, but incredibly quick tires. A lot quicker tires than the tires used by the top 2. Is Pantaleev going to win this race? To take the win that was maybe more for his teammate. Rainbow made a contact with Jackal Jack. They were fighting through the Degners, and Rainbow has lost a lot of time there. Pantaleev is just under a second behind Rainbow as well. We still have to stay with these. Bartek has overtaken Leto, to your information, but that's not as important as this guy trying to catch the top 2. Only 3.5 laps are still left in this race, and everyone has the DRS now in the top 3, obviously. Pantaleev 0.7 of a second behind Rainbow. who is another half a second behind Jackal Jack. 1.2 seconds cover the top 3 of this race. This is going to be a brilliant finish to this race. Pantaleev just behind. I'm just going to see if it's a bot. No. Pantaleev half a second behind Rainbow. He's still way too far behind to make a move just now. Rainbow tried to, well, he caught Jackal Jack at the end of the straight, but he couldn't make a move. Where is Flash? He is 4/10 of a second behind Leto, but he has his problem with his front wing. Borb has another problem, and it's called Flash. They are fighting for P8 and even P7 with Leto, but let's go back to the top. Pantaleev, incredibly quick through the S's, the fastest man from the top 3 without a doubt right now. He's just all over the back of the rear wing of Rainbow. You can see that he's just behind him. He's all over the back of him, and he is just going to make a move as soon as it's possible. 2.5 laps to go in this race, and we still don't know who is going to win it. Jackal Jack is leading, Rainbow is second, and Pantaleev is third. Who is the first one to make a move in this top 3? I think it's going to be Pantaleev. Rainbow is already trying to cover a move from the Toro Rosso. Is he going to make a move down the inside in the chicane? Rainbow goes a little bit wide, but Pantaleev has lost his momentum going through 130R. And another game lag right now, I think. Rainbow is just behind Jackal Jack. We start lap number 26. 2 laps to go, and Pantaleev has lost some time to Rainbow, but that's only a few tenths of a second. He's still very close to them. Rainbow tried to make a move. No, he didn't try to make a move, but Pantaleev is still 7 tenths behind the 2 leaders. Are they going to fight? Flash and Borb have fought for P8, but Flash stays there. Let's go back to Pantaleev because it's still going to be interesting. It's going to be awesome to see a fight for the win during the final 1.5 laps, and Pantaleev goes deep in Degner too. Has he lost time? Yes, he has. Still, he's now over a second behind the top 2. Leto gets a time penalty. Rainbow, he still is trying to fight Jackal Jack for the lead right now, but he can't make a move on him. Similar to Pantaleev, maybe he's now lost his tire advantage because they are now already 8 laps, all these softs, which makes them a little bit less quick, obviously. And Rainbow still all over the back of Jackal Jack. 4 tenths between them. Rainbow is trying to catch the Ferrari before the start-finish straight to take the DRS, to exit from the chicane better than the Ferrari driver, to maybe overtake him into the first 2 corners. Final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Is it going to change anything? Is Rainbow trying to gain on Jackal Jack? Is he trying to go down the inside into turn 2? No, he's not. Leto comes into the pit lane after on the penultimate lap. I don't know what happened there. He's still changing onto soft tires. But he's out of the top 10. Oxygen will take points. But let's go back here because Pantaleev 3 tenths of a second behind Rainbow. He needs to overtake the McLaren, maybe into the chicane, into the hairpin, I'm sorry, and maybe he will get a chance to overtake Jackal Jack into the chicane, but I'm already seeing that he is way too far behind Rainbow to try and overtake into the hairpin. Maybe the penalties will change a lot. Who knows? Who knows? Half a lap to go. Jackal Jack still leads. Rainbow is in P2, Pantaleev is in P3, Rainbow is out of the fight for the podium for a long time right now, and Jackal Jack looks to be set to win this race, at least on track. Rainbow looks to be set to finish in P2, but Pantaleev gets a lot better exit out of the spoon curve. But Rainbow can't cover him, and Pantaleev goes into P2 on the final lap of the race, but is it going to be enough to take that P2? Is Rainbow going to retake it? No, he's not going to dive down the inside into the chicane. Who is going to win this race? Jackal Jack takes the checkered flag. Pantaleev is second. Rainbow is third. Fire is 5th even. Bartek has lost the podium by 1 tenth of a second. Flash finishes in P7. Tudor is 8th. Borb is 9th. Oxygen is 10th. Leto will be 11th. And Sky Kartoffel will be 12th. That's, at least by my calculations, how it's going to finish. Leto in P11. Sky Kartoffel in P12. Wow. Wow, that was an awesome race. The best race of the season, really. 2 safety cars, apart from maybe the game crash that caused Tarabuki not to finish this race, to get a disqualification, to lose the points to Rainbow. But Rainbow will lead him by only 10 points going to the next race. Let's see the results of this awesome race after the black screen goes off. Jackal Jack wins. Jackal Jack victorious in Japan. Panteleev in P2. Rainbow in P3. Bartek in P4. Fire in P5. Black Panther is 6th. Flash is 7th. Tudor is 8th. Well, not the Rainbow, obviously. Borb is 9th. And Oxygen is 10th. Then we have Leto and Sky Kartoffel. Malkian, Flexis Masi, Hueni, Piekarz, Vegas, and Fox are all out of the race. Tarabukin Andre has been disqualified behind the safety car, and we all know that MDCO was actually on pole, but he couldn't start in the race. Wow. 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 I still don't know what to say about this race. This was the best race of the season, without a doubt. Maybe one of the best in Apex Online Racing I have seen. I have casted. Who knows? Maybe one of the best. But I'm not going to say if it was absolutely the best. Someone says, well, he needs a restart, but after 15 laps, we are not going to restart the race. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry, but that's how it goes. And for your information, what will be the next race? Obviously, it's going to be Italy. Next week, we meet at the Italian Grand Prix, at the Temple of Speed at Monza. One of the most incredible races in the entire calendar. Slipstream Fest, as some say about it. Will it be a Slipstream Fest later on next week? Who knows? Who knows? Wow. Thank you to the sponsor, to Hype Energy, to Elgato Gaming, for making it possible for us to stream today. That was the race that they wanted to see, that we wanted to see, that everyone wanted to see. And thank you so much for watching it today. I think that next time I will have someone else besides me to help me sometimes, because obviously 2 commentators are better than 1 in some situations when there are fights in during the race. So watch out for that. And until next week, I've been Julio Massa. I think right now I haven't even told you who is commentating. Interesting. So yeah, I have been Julio Massa, and well, thank you for watching it, and see you next week at the same time in Italy for another, hopefully as good of a race as today.